Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Curated by Becta's Meal Kit number 138 for March 2nd through 4th. Thanks for ordering this week, and thanks for letting us be a part of a special celebration at home. We've got a really interesting menu for you tonight. There's a lot of things going on, so I'm going to go ahead and jump in there. The main course is going to take the longest, so I have tossed Brussels sprouts and roasted carrots in some neutral oil, so in my case grapeseed oil, but you can use canola oil or vegetable oil, some salt and pepper, and then put them separately on a baking sheet with parchment paper. I've done that a couple minutes ago, put them in the oven. We're looking for about 15 to 18 minutes in total, depending on how cooked you like your vegetables. The next up is our porchetta, which we want to sear. So we're going to do 1 tablespoon of neutral oil again in a pan, and we're going to get this nice and hot to be able to sear it. So we've already cooked this sous vide, but we're going to take it to well done, and we're going to render it out. So once the pan gets hot, it's going to be 3 minutes searing on each side. We're going to do a little butter bathing, so why don't I go get a big spoon to be able to do that. And then the rest of the stuff is starting to heat up as well. This guy is probably a little much, so we can turn that down. 1 pan for our mushrooms. I know we're going to need some oil in there as well. 1 tablespoon per person. And then our arancini, we're going to need 2 tablespoons per person because we're going to shallow fry that. So that's a little bit more in there. I'm using a cast iron pan for that. You can use a nonstick pan, but cast iron works really well for the arancini, so feel free to do that. So let's see if our pan is nice and hot. Just take a little water. If it pops, it's not popping quite enough, so I'm going to wait just another second. Maybe have a sip of this lovely wine pairing tonight. So this is Chateau Haut Grelot from Bordeaux, Semillon Sauvignon Blanc blend. I love this one. I stocked up on it, and it's been used for curated pairings quite a bit because I'm just such a huge fan. Okay, so I think the porchetta is going to be ready. So you want to take it out of the tin that it comes in, and again, sear it on each side for about 3 minutes. Chef really suggested a non-stick pan for this one, and you make sure that it is oven safe because it's going in the oven for 7 minutes after we do the butter bathing and the searing. All right, so now that that's started, I probably can go ahead and start on the appetizer. So the arancini is going to be 3 minutes per side and 5 minutes, so 6 minutes in total, and then 5 minutes for the mushrooms. And then I've got my Parmesan cream here, which is in a pan. Make sure to give it a little stir every once in a while, and that's going to be great. Okay, I might even turn on my hood fan. Once recently, some of you might have remembered, I set off my smoke alarm. No fun in that whatsoever. Let's see how my porchetta is doing. I want to get a nice brown on there. So it's going to take another minute. I want to make sure we don't have a big gap in the middle here. So let's see. That's a nice brown. And we're going to render some of the pork fat out because this is the belly, which porchetta is made, and we've got all kinds of orange and spices and rosemary on the outside of it. It's going to be really great. So I probably want to add in a step where you drain the fat and the oil before you get in there. And you're going to turn down the heat. Drain oil, turn down heat. Great. It was a busy week this week, and so I think our chef maybe forgot that part. He usually talks about draining the oil, and there's a lot of fat that's coming out of the porchetta. So we're going to do that before we do the butter bathing, as soon as it's ready. The choucroute, by the way, is just going to be room temperature. You don't need to saute it. You've got some honey, which is going to be tossed with the carrots when they come out, a little salsa verde on top, and some pickled red onion. All right. That's looking really nice. Okay, I think we're probably good here. Whoa, might splatter a little bit, so be careful. And now I'm going to turn down the heat, throw my butter in there, 1 tablespoon per person, and as soon as it melts, that is when you are going to butter bathe. You can sort of move it around if you're like me and I'm wanting to move things along. And as soon as this goes in, I can probably even start on my mushrooms now. Lovely. All right. This is great looking stuff. I mean, I'm a big fan of pork in any kind, but this is really looking good. Ironically, not thinking about the meal kit last night, I went and got my family some food at Farm Boy and cooked up a nice dinner of roasted pork with Brussels sprouts and carrots. But I can promise you this stuff is going to be better. That was just a little pork chop last night, and tonight we are doing something even better. That porchetta is sort of a 2-day process of, I'm going to use a spatula, in fact, to turn these around. I want my non-stick spatula, though. Here's one. Not the one I was going for, but that will work. Make sure to keep it nice and tight. I know which one is going to be my picture one because I ripped it apart a little bit. Yours is going to be a little tighter because it's going to have an extra day to sit and to firm up. So the butter bathing is going to give it an extra lusciousness. Okay, that goes in the oven. Hey Google, set a timer for 7 minutes. There we go. I can turn that guy off. Hey Google, off. So that is my first timer, and that is to get my carrots and Brussels sprouts agitated, as the chef says, but in real parlance, it's really just about stirring them to get a little bit of brown all around. But if you got a convection oven like me, you probably don't need it as much. And when the pork's ready, the veg will be ready. That's how I time it. Okay, with the mushrooms, you want to add some salt and pepper. Now, the arancini should be good to go. The pan is hot. There we are. Rye berry arancini. For those of you who don't know, rye berries are an ancient grain, and they have such a nutty, wonderful flavor to them. I'm glad I've got my spatula because that's going to be required for my shallow frying on the arancini. I'm going to turn that up just a little bit because you don't want to shallow fry when the heat is not up there. Yeah, he did say hi. So I'm going to go right to 8. Mushroom's doing well. I can probably turn the hood fan off at this point that I'm done the searing. And we can go ahead and plate the dessert while all this stuff is going on. We've got a special one tonight, a cherry cheesecake. So first thing you do is take the containers out. Mine are always, my desserts are always not quite set as well as yours are because they always do it on my first day. I record these on Wednesdays. So cherry cheesecake. This looks amazing. We've got the coulis and the orange crumble. But first, let's turn the arancinis over. lovely. And I'm going to turn that down a little bit. Whew, that's hot. Little piece fell off. Okay. So the coulis, need a little spoon for this guy. Very nice. And the orange crumble. There's our cherry cheesecake. The cherry coulis and orange crumble. Knock off. Let's make sure the cream is nice and warm. Mushrooms are looking good. So let's hit the choucroute. I need some more tongs. Choucroute goes down first. This is going to provide the acid for the dish. Then next up is the mushrooms, I think. And then the arancini on top of them. Lovely. There we go. I hope you're going to do something different than me, which is not try to do the main course and the appetizer all at once. There we are. Have the appetizer. Enjoy. You're not doing a video. And then the cream goes all around. This would probably be better in a little pasta bowl, I have to say. But I've committed to a plate at this point. The chef said he doesn't like to put sauce on crispy things. So I wouldn't pour it on top of the arancini, but you be you. You do you, as they say. So there is our rye berry arancini with the mushrooms, the choucroute, and the Parmesan cream. I'm just going to clean that up real quick. Keep it all there in the center of the plate. And all of those things are good. Hey Google, how much time's left on the timer? I bet you we're ready. Pork is looking great. So we've already seasoned these with salt and pepper, but it's okay to hit it with a little bit more. And then my honey is going to go on the carrots. Don't feel like you have to use it all. Use as much as you feel is right. And I'm going to dirty another pair of tongs, because why not? Brussels sprouts and carrots are down first. You'll notice that there's a lot of starch in the first course, so we don't need as much on the second course. Got a lot of things going on the first course. Make sure it's nice and divided evenly. And our porchetta. Hey Google, off. Oh, that looks amazing. Whoa! Haha. Don't forget, when you have a pan in the oven, don't grab it with your hands. There we are. You shouldn't need to season it unless you did like me and didn't season it at the beginning, and then you hit it at the end. It's been a big day today. Lots going on. Inventory day. Did all of the counts of all of our wine and beer and cocktails and liquor. Got to have some nice Chianti at the end of this. Okay. Salsa verde, give it a stir. Now I'm going to put some right there on the pork, but I'm also going to put some on the side. And that's just going to pick it up really nicely. And then we've got the pickled red onions. Go right on top. See if you be creative. This one needs a little bit more. That's a good looking dish. So we have our lovely roast porchetta, orange and rosemary, with the salsa verde, the pickled red onions, honey roasted carrots, and our Brussels sprouts. I hope you love your meal. Thanks for ordering this week. For those of you at Mont Ste. Marie, thanks for ordering up at the Hill. We've got a few more weeks of this, so please keep looking at the Facebook posts for Mont Ste. Marie meals. And I really hope we get to cook and curate for you again very soon.